Hey everybody, Joshua here. If you have been following this channel for very long, then you know last year I made a video with my wife where I read negative comments from this channel to her. And then I got her reaction live and we made a video out of it. It was a lot of fun. Turned out pretty funny. I think a lot of you enjoyed it. Well, we had such a good time making that video that last month I recorded a video with my hairstylist named Lynn, and I read all of the negative comments that you guys offered about my hair, of all things, to make a negative comment about my hair. And so this was last month, and I recorded this video. We haven't had a chance to upload it quite yet, and we're gonna do it now. I know that the world is a very different place today than it was last month when we first recorded this video. So just want you to know that you should be staying home and you should be staying safe and you should be practicing your social distancing as we flatten the curve. But as you do, I hope you find some joy in watching me read negative comments to my hairstylist. Well, hey, welcome everybody. I am here with Lynn, who has been cutting my hair for 7 years. Lynn?
Has it been that long?
Lynn, what do you like to refer to yourself as? A hair artist, a hair stylist? What are you?
I'm a hairdresser.
A hairdresser.
It's an old school term. Most people hate it, but I don't. It's what I identify with most. It's
my
pronoun.
I never actually know what to refer to you as. I walked in maybe 7 years ago with a picture of Patrick Dempsey.
Yes.
And do you remember this?
McDreamy.
And I said, can you cut my hair like this? And you looked offended. You were like, of course.
Did I? Oh, yeah, of course.
Like,
offended at the idea that I might not be able to.
I think your exact phrase was, dude, I own this haircut. And it's been magic ever since.
It's almost embarrassing. I'm sorry.
I wanted to read some of the comments that I receive on YouTube about my hair.
Okay.
As you actually finish up my hair appointments.
Okay.
And I would just like your opinion, your thoughts, your first comments on some of these. Are you ready? Now, most of them are bad, but I put in a few nice things just to keep your spirits up.
Well, listen, I only need a couple.
All right.
So.
Autonomous RC says this. His hair reminds me of a particular species of chicken, a Polish bantam, I believe. Now, she misspelled the word believe, but have you seen a Polish bantam chicken?
I have. I just looked it up.
And would you say my hair reminds you of a... Yeah, how do you feel? Is that maybe that's a compliment? Have you seen one of those chickens?
Well, I have, and here's what I will say to that. I've seen a few chickens, seen a few roosters in my day. If I was going to be compared to a chicken, that's the one I'd like.
That's the one?
Pretty colorful feathers, a lot of style, a lot of flair. Not a thing wrong with that.
Good. Now, I've got about 6 pages of these, so...
fire them off.
Anna Teixeira says, what about simplifying your hair? Cut that thing, man. It is horrible.
Oh, my goodness. And
This is what I live with.
what, may I ask, is the okay, so when people say it looks horrible, what makes it look so horrible?
Oh,
Because I sure don't think it's horrible. Sorry about my language.
That did not take you long to get offended.
Well, I'm not offended necessarily, but it is what it is. Either qualify it or go post on somebody else's site.
YouTube comments are the meanest. Number 2, Astrid Newmeyer says, Joshua, have you ever tried trimming the sides of your hair a little shorter? I think it would frame your face better.
Okay, so first things first. When we choose what length to cut a person's hair, that is a very specific thing for that person, and there's no formulation to make it work for everybody. Also, how I will answer that is this. If I cut his hair any shorter on the sides, it would stick out. Yes. Like a porcupine, not a bantam rooster in its beautiful fashion.
Are you listening to this, Astrid? It would stick out.
Yes.
Hence the perfect length.
Really bad.
Yeah.
So there's no margin of error really for a head of hair like Joshua's. There's a specific length and texture and procedure that I have to go through to get the hair to lay well.
This is why I came here.
Well,
This is why I came here.
that's why everybody comes here.
Ludmila Toshova says, since it's being mentioned, I dislike his haircut too.
Man.
Tatsushira Kuragan says, is there a connection between the wardrobe and the rabid badger hairstyle?
Oh, that's the context of the...
I like the former, but the latter is a deal breaker for me.
Well, listen.
Rabid badger. Not just a badger.
A rabid badger.
rabid
a malevolent, evil creature.
Yeah.
Hell-bent on destruction.
Yes.
Yeah.
Carrying diseases. That's me.
Listen, there's really nothing to even say to that. Somebody's just throwing all kinds of shade. And by the way, once again, going back to the animal kingdom, if I was going to look like a rodent or a mammal that walked around on all fours and dug holes, I'd want to look like a badger or a wolverine, which is more how I categorize you than a badger.
Here's a couple in a row. Alex McBride says that the perfect streaks of gray in your hair are giving me life. So I think that's a compliment.
It's a beautiful
Giving
thing.
me life. Although Diana Higby said, I must admit that your white hair looks perfect.
Yeah.
Would you go a difference between gray and white? Is my hair white?
Yes. Well, your hair is really more silver. The streaks and the highlights in your hair that are here naturally, by the way, to all those who are listening, we don't manufacture this. In fact, I have to filter through it to get it to look even, which is another aspect of nuance that I have to pay attention to. Otherwise, he looks like he's got bird shit on one side and nothing on the other. Next question, please.
I'll read through a couple of these. Lisa says, bad hair. Looks like a wig.
We should all be so lucky.
Yeah. Mike Ooh says you have too much hair. Can that be minimalized?
Can we see Mike's hair?
Osavita Films says, dude, get a haircut. Hotel Victoria Charlie says, I keep on thinking we should do something about Joshua's hair. Now here's a couple in a row. My Lady Inde Joker. She says, this is a compliment to you, by the way. Okay. I assume any of the insults are related to how I styled my hair that day.
It's
but
possible.
The compliments are for you, just so you know. My Lady Inde Joker says, is it just me? I always end up looking to his hair instead of his face. I'm not quite sure how to feel about that, but there were several responses. Bernice responded, nope, it's not just you. His hair is always perfect. Wanda Richardson says, it's so fluffy. And then my Lady Inde Joker responded, I'm grateful I've met his videos before committing myself into marriage.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
J&J, you may want to speak to some of the current trends. I wasn't going to comment on anything personal, but since you're bringing up your hair, since you're bringing up comments, I love your hair, especially the touch of gray. Today's men's hair, notice I did not use the word styles, are icky, shaved at the sides with a poof at the top.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it harkens back to the 20s and 30s, Prohibition.
Yeah.
You know.
D Randomize says his hair looks fake. Jay says that hair makes your head look like a damn light bulb.
Oh my word, really?
Now this is this one I particularly like. I myself, for the past 2.5 years, started embracing my gray hair. And I have been encouraged to see you embracing your natural hair. Psalm 139, you are wonderfully made by the Almighty.
Yeah, I agree. I think one of the things that's really easy to understand here is that a lot of these folks who have this sort of negative attitude about your hair, first of all, are focusing on the wrong thing. I realize presentation and packaging is very important. I'm in that business, and so I completely appreciate the necessity for good packaging, good presentation, good self-care. However, for someone to say that, someone's hair looks bad, especially in a manner in which is more visceral, I think, than it should be.
Rabid badger.
It's ridiculous. It really is. A lot of these comments are really very much indicative of this social media culture that basically says, "Oh, I'll say whatever I want. Nobody's going to do anything to me," and that's true, right? But what I will say is this. I don't know who you are out there criticizing my work or my friend's hair or my clients, but at the end of the day, I have some of the most successful clients you will ever come across. At the end of the day, I am responsible for that image being presented well. As I said, the reason I haven't written a book yet is because even if I change the names, it wouldn't matter. Everybody'd know who they were.
All right, a few more. You should try to fix your hair or get rid of it, or at least match it with your age.
What does that mean?
Then he called me a...
What? See, again, these are people who have nothing better to do than poke fun.
Stop U.S. imperialism, said Eddie Munster hair.
Oh, God.
Laughing my rear off.
Well, for a culture these days who thinks that dressing up means putting on their favorite pair of sweatpants, I'll just say consider the source.
Royal Navari said, "Hey Josh, have you ever thought about wearing your hair in a military high top? It would look good on you." Comments? Thoughts? We have not considered that.
The brush cut is really interesting. I think we did something similar to that, the flat top style. We did something similar to that when we cut and styled you for the role when you played it's your grandfather, correct?
Yeah.
And it couldn't have looked more perfect. One of the interesting things is about your grandfather's haircut from the back in the day. Back to the other guy's point about, why don't you cut it shorter, blah, blah, blah. Well, because it'd stick out on the sides like your grandpa's did. And as charming as that might have been for him back in the day, and as normal a thing as that would have been for men back in the day to just get it shorter's better, it's really not the way we do things these days. It's really about fashion, and other people's opinions can be what they are, but, I didn't get this far in my career and garner the sort of respect that I have in my career by doing things badly.
Gail Ritter says, "I really like your hair, and I don't know what the obsession is with it. If a female had your hair, a lot of people would want to copy it."
Isn't that the truth?
I've never considered that might be the case. Dooney Traveler said, "My mom had the same hair. Kids used to say she was the bride of Frankenstein."
Once again, I can't even with these guys.
Now you'll like this one from Kathy. "Hi Joshua, I was talking to my hairdresser about you being my inspiration for a minimalist lifestyle, and I showed her your website, and the first thing she said was, 'Wow, he has great hair.'"
I think that's the general reaction
Isn't
you
that
get from people who don't mind standing in front of you and making comments,
people walking right by. And let me finish with a couple more. "When I look at your hair, I see President Business from the Lego movie." And then I will end with a couple on the bright side. This is so off topic, but am I the only one that sees his hair? How beautiful. "His hair is super cute. Lucky wife who gets to caress it." And then I just wanted to make sure my wife saw that. And then "Love your hair. Very sexy." Beth Hub says, "My vote. Best hair on YouTube." And Asha says, "I click over just to check your hairstyle."
Here's the thing.
It's a crazy world out there, Lynn.
We really appreciate all of the love. One of the things that I can say for sure is that all of my clients share one thing in common. They know the difference between great work and bad work. And the reason is because the reason they're in my chair is because they already went to somebody else. They didn't do the kind of job they asked for. And, that's why most of my clients have been with me for 15 or more years. What else can I say? You don't get to do work all the time. and have people keep coming back and paying your increases and you know, allowing you to have a kind of lifestyle that you plan to build. So again, it's easy for the haters on the internet to sit and run their mouths, but I submit you and I should do another episode where we actually look these people up.
Yeah.
You know, now here's the thing. I say that tongue in cheek because I wouldn't do that. It isn't in my nature to go around sticking my finger in people's faces just because I don't like their hair. And once again, it just goes to show how little they have going on in their own lives that they have to focus on some guy's hair whose message is inherently and always positive. So check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Well said.
I think so. I didn't come up with that, by the way. That's a copyright for somebody else, but it's very, very applicable, I think, in this particular.
Well, I get there are two types of comments on my YouTube videos. They are either thank you very much, your videos are life-changing, or number two, I'd like to say something about your hair. So I think there was no one that I would much rather discuss those comments with than you. Lynn, thanks for
I appreciate that.
hanging out with us this evening.
No problem. I appreciate you letting me answer the haters, as it were. It's been fun.
Rabid badger.
I don't take that as a diss. You know, some of us look like hippos.
Rabid badger.
I think I'd rather be a badger.
I'm gonna need some context for that comment.
I just got.
If I'm to answer these things accurately, I'm gonna need some context.
That's why I want you to see what the chicken
Polish.
was. Bantam
Bantam.
chicken.
Yeah, there it is. Well, there's a rooster and a chicken. Which one you want?
Well, the chicken. Well, I don't know if they're that much different.
Depends on who you ask.
Does the hairstyle look like me?
Oh.
All right.
Look at these here. That is just fantastic. Well, listen, I must say, if you're gonna be compared to a chicken, I think this is the one you get compared to, because
All right.
that's one handsome son of a gun right
All
there.
right.